Hello! Welcome! My name's Rachel, and it's been a while. Man, it's been so long, I don't even know how to start this video. Oh my goodness. Okay, I feel like a newbie all over again. So yeah, it's been 75 million years. I think it's probably been close to 2 years now. It's been a while. But I am wanting to start filming again on a more regular basis, not necessarily beauty related, or at least as I'm walking into this, that's not the goal that I have. My goal right now is to focus on health. So one of the videos, or a couple of the videos I think that I had done in the past had been about like weight loss and just like my adventure and my journey. So back in 2018, I had gone to the doctor at one point and got on what I call the scale of truth, and it didn't lie to me. It was very painful, and that was like a really rude awakening that I needed to kind of kickstart myself. 2018 was like right after I had graduated college, and senior year was hard at college. And so I had gained a lot of weight. Both my boyfriend and I were working full time. We would wake up typically before 6 a.m. and we weren't going to bed until after 9, 10, 11 o'clock. So it was a lot of not healthy eating. We were in the middle of living in multiple different places also, so we didn't really have like a safe space to make good, healthy meals. So it was a lot of fast food and bad decisions, a lot of weight gain senior year. So for the both of us, and jumping on that scale, I believe it was in June. I think it was in June of that year. I weighed the heaviest that I'd ever weighed, to my knowledge, which was 270 pounds. For reference, I'm 6'1", so I am taller, so I get a lot like, you don't show that. Like, it doesn't, like, you don't look, and, people don't say that with any ill will, but I've gotten that all my life, honestly. So it just spreads out a little bit differently, but I weighed 270 pounds at that point, and in 2018 and crossing into the very beginning of 2019, I actually got all the way down to 200 pounds. So I lost about 70 pounds in just about a 6-month period, and then 2020. So 2019, I was able to keep off the weight. I pretty much was the same weight the entire year, and I was still working out, I was still active, and I was still mindful of what I was eating, but I wasn't as strict as I was losing weight, which makes sense. But I entered 2020 with really great goals. I was still low. I think I entered 2020 about like 205, maybe 210, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get down below 200, which I wholeheartedly believe is a possibility. I think my goal weight, like in general with my body, is somewhere between 190 and 200. So like that was my goal walking into 2020, and January went really well, and even February went really well, and then coronavirus. So all the gyms shut down, and I felt like I definitely was one of the people that very early on was like, I cannot leave this home. Nope, not doing it. So there was a lot of not great decisions that happened in 2020. And then at the end of the year, I went through several like stints in 2020 where I was like, I can do this. Like, I'm going to get back on the wagon. I would do well for like a week or two at a time. So I joined Weight Watchers at one point, which I think is a very snazzy program. I had never joined it before, and I was like, well, I have a friend. She said that she really liked it, so like, let's see what it's all about. Let's give it a shot. And I did like it. I think it's got a very sustainable thought process behind it. But ultimately, I think it's really good for people that like are getting started. And I, unfortunately, am not. I'm not in that boat. Like I don't want to get emotional. Like I don't want the first year to be like, or first video of the year to be like upset. But like I know what I need to do. So it just so much disappoints me to just like have taken so many steps back in 2020 to the point where I'm not at where I was in 2018, but I'm not that far off. I'm closer to where I was than where I want to be. So, yeah. So I really, want to walk into this year with a lot better goals. The last, month and a half, really, of eating, I feel like I was doing really well up until Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, it was just kind of a shit show, to be honest. So then, I was just like, at this point, I'll just start again in 2021. And that's kind of, what I feel like I'm doing, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. 2020 was a fucking hard year for all of us. So, I know that I'm not the only person in this boat. And so my thought process with getting back on YouTube and documenting things is that I would like to track my journey and just kind of walk through what my goals are. And oh my lord, I just did my makeup. Can we not? These tear ducts, they better close. Anywho, so I really want to track my progress. I really want to think about where I'm at and how I'm feeling, recipes that I've tried that I really liked, recipes that I've tried that I really didn't like. I really just want to do a full circle type of deal, and unfortunately, it's not really going to include a gym for at least a hot second. It might for the first week or so of this year, but I canceled my Planet Fitness membership, and I don't have any intentions of renewing a membership right now, maybe later on in the future. So right now what I'm working with is just being at home, so home workouts, which are legitimate. I'm not giving any slack to those. I think they can be great. So I have a stationary bike. It's not nearly as snazzy as a Peloton, but it's still a bike. So general principle is, cycling. And then I've got a set of 15-pound weights, a set of 10-pound weights, and a set of 5-pound weights. And then I also ordered a winter box from a brand called 22 Nutrition, which, if you haven't heard of them, 10 out of 10 recommend checking them out. They're a small business based out of Colorado, and it is just the cutest family in the world that runs this business. The owner, her name is Hannah. She's a really big influencer on Instagram, or at least really big in my eyes. And she has the two cutest little boys, and I don't know, I really like them. So anywho, I ordered a winter box from her brand, which is 22 Nutrition, and it comes with a protein, a pre-workout, and then a glute band. So that'll be the only glute band I have. So I'm actually really looking forward to that coming because I think a glute band would be helpful. So I guess I'll just talk about kind of some of my goals. So right now I'm sitting at about 255 pounds. It's sour coming out. Anywho, that's where I'm at. My goal is to lose about 5 pounds every month, which I think is entirely doable. I would like to lose that until I get to somewhere between 200 and 210. That's when it becomes a lot harder. I mean, it's a hard process regardless, but in 2018, that's where it became very difficult. Which is kind of why I'm basing my goal weight of somewhere between 190 and 200, because I can get to 200. I know that I can. Below 200 was, I think I only hit that, what I recall, once, and I was doing pretty well. Now, I have no desire to be, six-pack ab shredded bodybuilder, so if I really wanted to, I could probably go lower and just lean the heck out. At this point, that's just not what I want to do. I just want to be better, because having been where I'm at before and then having lost it, I know how much better I felt not just physically, but emotionally when I was lower, so, I get the body positivity and everything, like I try to be positive about things, but I think when you, at least for me, when I've been through what I've been through, I know where I want to be, and that's somewhere by the end of this year between 200 and 210. Now, given that I was able to do that within 6 months before, I wholeheartedly believe that that's a possibility to do within a year. I'm not like fretting about the timeline. The only thing is, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Like, that's why, if it was easy, anybody would do it. That like saying is a saying for a reason. It's really difficult, but I know it is 80, if not 95% food. I know it. I hate it. I wish things that were so yummy to me, like cake and pizza and all those delicious things, were conducive to losing weight. They are not. At least they weren't for me. But that said, I also really need to learn, and something that I really hope to learn this year is moderation, because I tend to, like when I eat pizza, like I don't stop at just a couple slices, and I think that's a huge problem, and it really shows a lot about my relationship with food, and I definitely have like a binging problem. So, I'm kind of all around hoping for good things. So, walking into January, I weighed myself today. I tend to have a really bad habit about weighing myself every single day, and quite frankly, that's just not healthy. So what I'm going to try to do is start off by just weighing myself like 2 times a week maybe, and then what I'd like to get to is only weighing myself on Fridays. I'm going to film these videos, or I'm going to try to film these videos either on Fridays or Saturdays, but I'll always go off of my Friday weight so that it's week over week. But I think the first like several pounds, first 10-ish pounds are going to be cake in my opinion, because a lot of that's water. I also know that like this morning I weighed myself after eating a poop ton of like pizza and salty foods last night. I had popcorn, so a lot of that's just like water retention. So like I'm not going to be holding my breath, or I should still like congratulate myself, because anything is progress, but like I'm just mindful that like these first few pounds are going to be water weight. So what are my goals for this? Well, I think in January what I'd really like to focus on is a lot of cardio, and weightlifting combined, but more cardio. Now I know that weightlifting is where it's at, okay? Like, I don't need the hate comments that's like, you should be lifting weights. Like, I get that. I'd really like to just do cardio in the month of January, though, and really try and, like, that's where I want to start. Like, honestly, that's really what it comes down to. That's what I want to do, so that's what I'm going to do. But I am still going to be incorporating weightlifting. Like I said, I have the weights that are at home with me, and then I'm also going to incorporate body weight exercises. So, I'm not saying I'm not going to weightlift. I'm just saying my primary focus is going to be doing at least 5 days of cardio, and the goal is between 30 and 45 minutes of cardio each day. So I think that's realistic. And something that I'd really like to get down is like inches. So I ordered a tape measure, and it might actually be here in my front doorstep, but I ordered a tape measure, and I want to really focus on like before and after pictures. I want to take pictures on a weekly basis, and then I also want to focus on like inches lost, because I didn't do that the first time around, and in hindsight I kind of wished I had, so that you can like just kind of see that progress as well, because there's a lot of times when the scale doesn't fluctuate up or down, but you're still like your body composition is changing, and so like those are victories too, in my opinion. So that's kind of my big goal. Obviously, drinking a lot of water. I'm not really going to be drinking any soda anymore. Water, tea, and coffee, but not like Starbucks vanilla bean frappuccino coffee. Not that I've ever had one of those before, but like I used to get a lot of like iced chai tea lattes with vanilla sweet cream cold foam, which if you like chai tea lattes, 10 out of 10 would recommend that. However, not the healthiest thing in the world. So I just got a Keurig for at-home coffee, and so I'm just going to make coffee and froth milk here. I did one this morning, and in total I think it was 18 calories for it, because the almond milk, half a cup is 15 calories, and then the K-cup was 3 calories. So that's another big thing. I didn't mention that, but calorie counting, ultimately, that's what weight loss is calories in versus calories out. Like, ultimately, weight loss is just a formula. It really, like, blew my mind for a long time that you could eat Twinkies. Like, you could eat, I don't know how many calories are in a Twinkie, but if you ate, like, 5 Twinkies and that you hit your, like, 1,500 calories or 1,800 calories or something, you can just fill that up with Twinkies. Like, you don't need to fill it up with, like, greens, and, you know, that's obviously the healthier route to do when you're thinking of, like, macronutrients, which are still very important, but ultimately weight loss itself is just a formula of calories in, calories out. So you simply just need to be burning more calories than you're taking in. Obviously, I'm not condoning that you should be eating Twinkies for your calories day to day, but calories is where it was really helpful for me in 2018. So I'm back to tracking calories. I use the app MyFitnessPal. Hands down, it's the best app that I have ever come across, but you know, I'm sure that there are others, but what I really like about MyFitnessPal is that you can scan barcodes, and they pretty much have, I've never run into a food that's had a barcode that they didn't have the information for. So that's really helpful. But my goal for calories is to say somewhere around 1,500 to 1,600 calories. My maintenance calories fall between 2,000 and 2,200 typically. So this is a good deficit. This is they're about where I started. Now, I will say, when I started in 2018, I had not so great advice from somebody at a place where I used to work out, and they were like, you should only be eating 1,200 calories. I asked her straight up, how many calories do you think I should be eating? And without asking me any supplementary questions, she said 1,200. Okay, that's not true. I was, you know, at the time I was like, yep, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And you know what? I was freaking hungry all the time. And you know why? Because 1,200 is just not reasonable. Okay, it's not reasonable. I know 15 to 16 might not seem like a crazy jump, but it is a jump. So those couple hundred calories definitely make a difference. If for nothing else, they make a difference in the type of person that you are, because 1,200 calories just makes anybody mean. So there's that. I also know that early on with this weight loss in 2018, I actually was not working out. I didn't work out for the first, I want to say 3 months of this whole process, and still lost a significant amount of weight. I mean, starting at 270, there were days that I would lose like 3 pounds. From Tuesday to Wednesday, 3 pounds gone. And it wasn't like a, you know, I mean, obviously things fluctuate, but it was like a downward trend. You know, I wasn't just, you know, like riding a roller coaster. So, like, I think I really am confident that if I stick to the eating right and I stick to working out, like, this is going to work out in my favor. I do also recognize, though, that if I sit here and I'm like, I'm not going to eat pizza ever again. Well, I'm just lying to you. So I do plan to have meals that are maybe a bit more indulgent than what a typical meal would be. And you know what? That's okay. So, you know, I'm starting this journey, and I'm, you know, diving in head first. And I saw something today, because everybody calls, it's January 1st today. Everybody says, you know, what are your New Year's resolutions? And somebody posted, this is my New Year's practice, and it was a meme, and it had a couple slides, but essentially they said it was a New Year's practice because if you practice at something, you're not going to get it right every single time. But to say resolution, people want to hold firm to that so tightly, and then as soon as they fall off the wagon, they're like, all right, I'm clearly not good enough for this, I can't do it, or it's done, it's over. But the person said, if you say New Year's practice, when you practice, you're going to fail. You're not going to get it right. You're not going to get it right every single time. So when you say practice, you can just get right back on it if something happens. And that's entirely true. So this is going to be my New Year's practice. And we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. And next week, I am just like, man, I'm on this great roll. And then next month, and then 6 months from now, and then we're good as gold. So, yeah, I think that's everything. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but hey, I will see you again next week on Friday. So I'm going to try and upload these also on Friday, but I might upload them over the weekend. You know, only time will tell. But thank you guys for watching if you've made it this far. I appreciate you. coming on this journey with me, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future. All right.